One of the most important aspects of personal injury cases is insurance coverage. Because when you try to settle a case, you usually have to determine what are the limits of the insurance coverage, because that's usually the limits of the amount of money that you can recover in any kind of personal injury case. So there's lots of types of insurance, and it's a very important, and the attorney's most important job is to find all the insurance coverage available to a client so that they can determine the value of your case and the value of your settlement. In automobile cases, it's the limits of liability under your automobile insurance policy. So most people, the minimum coverage in Virginia is $25,000, and you may see on your insurance policy $25.50. What does that mean? That means that every person can collect up to $25,000. But for a single accident, you can collect up to $50,000. So if there are 3 people in the car, client number 1 gets $25,000, client number 2 gets $25,000. Well, now the $50,000 is exhausted, so that there's no money left for client number 3, because the limits for one accident is $50,000. The limit for any one person is $25,000. So that is liability insurance. You also have under your auto policy what's called uninsured motorist coverage. And that means that your automobile insurance will cover you in an accident up to the amount of your insurance. So that if you are in an accident with someone who has $25,000 worth of insurance, and you have $100,000 worth of insurance on your car, in that accident you can collect up to $100,000. $25,000 from the defendant who injured you, and then $75,000 of UM coverage under your own policy for a total of $100,000. So I recommend to everyone that you buy as much insurance as you can afford. It costs a lot of money to get $25,000 worth of insurance, but it only costs a few dollars more to get $50,000 worth of insurance, and it only costs a few dollars more to get $300,000 worth of insurance. Insurance companies make money by selling as many $25,000 policies as they can, because then they don't have any exposure. So check your insurance policy and make sure you can get as much insurance as you can, because that will cover you when you get hit by a drunk driver or someone without insurance or someone who has minimum limits. Because when you get in a catastrophic accident, there usually is not enough coverage, and that is always a problem in big personal injury cases. Under your automobile policy, you can have medical payments coverage, which will pay your medical bills, either in increments of $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000. And that coverage will stack, meaning that if you have 3 cars and you have $5,000 worth of med pay, when you get in a car accident, that insurance company will pay $15,000 of your medical bills, $5,000 times the 3 cars. And that is the best health insurance you can buy. There also are coverages when you're in an accident for loss of income and other types of expenses. You might want to check into that, because it's very cheap once you have the main policy of insurance. The other point that I want to make about insurance is your insurance follows you wherever you go. So if you're in your friend's car and you get in an accident, his car insurance is first, then your insurance can stack on top of that, so that if he has $50,000 and you have $50,000, in that case you would have $100,000 worth of insurance. And if you're driving someone else's car, that will also count. So all of these insurances have to be determined. Are you living in a household with people who have insurance? Do you have your own automobile with insurance? How about the car you are in? Does that have insurance? And so all of these issues are very important in trying to find coverage so that people can be compensated when they're in an accident that is very serious. And the issue always is, why isn't there enough insurance coverage to pay for my accident?